A man who also retired from the fart in a jar game, but he could be called in for one last job. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. No choice to get on. Manage to get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And Ball Brian.
If you wanted to see someone get hit in the nuts, you didn't go to YouTube. You had to go through me.
Oh, man, the great Bob Saget. How you feeling, Gina Grad?
Pretty good. It just feels like cold symptoms. I had a sore throat last night, and now I have a runny nose. I so far I haven't really seen the difference or felt the difference.
All right. So we lost a good friend of the show, Bob Saget. Bob was one of the good ones. I ran into him 3 or 4 weeks ago at a party. He was with his wife. Talked to him for a while. He's Bob Saget. You know, he's always that guy. He's always upbeat, always in a good mood. I think, as I was thinking of my Bob Saget history, I didn't meet. No, I did audience warm up for one of those blunders and bleeped video shows in the 90s.
Pretty tight.
Yeah, except for Dom DeLuise was hosting this. It wasn't the Saget version of it. And for me, this is circa 1990. This was the greatest break of my life, being able to do audience warm up.
You're getting paid to do comedy. Granted, at a very small scale, but
not on a very small scale.
Oh, really?
Oh, the one of the first things I learned.
I guess we compare it to like open mics, yeah.
No, it's just as it pertains to stand-up, you get paid on a very good scale.
Oh, I meant the scale of people you're speaking to. But yes, yeah, you're right. You're probably getting paid decent money. Is it a union gig?
No, I don't know that it's a union gig, but it was a gig. And the gig was the guy I knew, Jim O'Doherty. He did it for Married with Children, and he was part of Acme. And he got $1,000 a show back in the 91, 90, 91. And I was like, what's the schedule? It's like, well, they tape at 5 o'clock on a Friday. We'll do 2 in one day. I'll show up at 4:15. We're usually out of there by 8:30 at night. It's like 2 shows. Yeah, $2,000. We're just showing up, handing out candy and talking to people and walking around the bleachers.
A lot of crowd work.
And then
all crowd work.
Yeah. And by the way, halfway into this, it's always this funny thing where they go like, all right, well, a story. Let me tell you guys a story out there. My Nana passed recently, and all of a sudden the bell would ring, and the guy just go, okay, gotta go. And he just leave. You just they ring the bell, and you're up there. So she was in hospice, and I was visiting her, and on the 3rd day she was able to open. Okay, you guys enjoy the show. Just walk out. Then at some point they'd stop, and you'd come running back out there and go. Now I don't know if she recognized my voice, but like I said, on day 3 she opened her eyes. And she looked, okay, you guys enjoy the show. You couldn't finish your fucking story or your joke or anything. As soon as that bell. Anyway.
She squeezed my hand.
She squeezed. All right, we're back. Hey, I'm not a religious person. I'm more of a spiritual person. But I'll tell you what, man, when she squeezed my hand, I looked in that woman's eyes, and I saw every other woman. Okay, you guys enjoy the show. And they have to walk out backwards, even.
Yeah.
They have to do a backwards walk. Can't turn it. So later on, when I realized I was gay, I thought, okay, you guys enjoy. So then I had a scare with AIDS myself. So, of course, this is the 80s, and I'm having unprotected sex in bathhouses. Now I'm on the business end of a glory hole over here. Okay, you guys enjoy the show. Al Bundy's coming out. Yeah, that was...
It was like that.
And I was like,
They pretty much are.
This is the greatest job ever.
And my dad, I was in high school when my dad moved out here. So we're talking Married with Children, Herman's Head, Friends, The Nanny. I went to every taping of...
Right.
Everything. And that's where I learned the joke from one of the warm-up guys. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
All right, sorry, Gina. We're going to move on with the podcast now.
Take care, everybody.
Well, now you got to give us the punchline.
Okay. What did Cinderella, and this was a family show. I was a child when he did this. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
Oh, the ball, the nuts.
Yeah.
That's good.
Wow.
Family show.
I had a totally different experience because I was taking over for Jim when he was doing Jim O'Doherty, who was doing America's Foul, blunders and videos and bleeps and everything. And he could only do the first half of the show, and then he was going to do American Gladiators as well.
Oh, damn.
So he was in demand.
Wow.
He was making thousands of dollars a week doing this. People I knew were making $20 for a 10-minute set. And he gave me the mic, and he excused himself. And I said, hi, it's Jim O'Doherty. He's got to rush off. And I said, his wife is pregnant. She's going to the hospital, and Jim's got to take off because he's got to find the son of a bitch who knocked her up. And he circled back around through the bleachers and came back to me and kind of grabbed the mic a little and went like, hey, man, this is a G-rated crowd. Like, what are you doing? I was like, hey, gotta laugh, Jim. He goes, an uncomfortable laugh. I remember I go, no, it was a laugh. He goes, uncomfortable. They were uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable laugh. I was like, all right, we're Universal
qualifying our laugh now?
Studios.
This is the laughter of recognition.
That was the end of my my crowd warm-up career. But tenure. But Saget I talked to a couple of weeks back, always good health, good spirits and whatever. There's a couple of pictures that somebody sent me of he and I, and it struck me that they were both at benefits, which says a lot about Bob Saget.
He was always doing the scleroderma stuff. That was big. It was his sister, right?
His sister had scleroderma, and to his credit, I checked up on it this morning because I did this thing in, 2005 with Saget. And I thought, he's doing this benefit for his sister. His sister had been dead for 10 years of scleroderma. But
wasn't to raise money for her.
He was continuing on with the cause,
right.
Which, and you can go to srfcure.org if you'd like to make a donation, and I would say in Bob's name.
Yeah. You mentioned good health, typically, as we know it, Bob Saget. Was there any chatter amongst your comedian friends? Was he sick? Did anyone know that he had anything?
Never heard a thing. I was, somebody tweeted me something that seemed kind of funny and kind of tragic and kind of weird, but he directed Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang, and someone said, "Who can believe Artie Lang is the one living out of the three of these?" But my God, that's how the world works, people. And then later on, he went and did my charity, so we just kind of did each. The second picture I saw was us and him doing the Shakespeare charity that we put on in Malibu.
Forgot about that.
And
I'm sorry. Quick timeout. Your charity is a Shakespeare charity?
Gina, Shakespeare. That's not a joke.
No.
I was thinking, what light through yonder window break?
Something my ex-wife got involved with that didn't have to do with her either, but was another organization, and we just said, why not? And
I like it.
We have a clip. It's like 7 minutes long of Bob and I speaking backstage, so to speak. It was a very early podcast. This was May of 2009. We started in April or February.
This was obviously the one Leno was at. You wouldn't have done two in such a short period of time.
Well, what we did is we did. There's a very nice picture of he and I at the event. I was able to grab Leno and Saget and whoever else was there and cobble together a podcast. So this was just sort of in a guest house, kind of backstage, if you will, in between hosting duties at this event, which was a beautiful day. So we'll play you some Bob Saget. Backstage from the Malibu estate, Bob Saget has joined us just off the stage. Nice job.
Thank you very much. It's daytime. It's daylight.
I didn't know you played the guitar.
I've been doing that since I'm 11. I never got any better. Those are the 4 chords.
But how come I didn't know this about you?
It's one of these things in my stand-up. I always did it. And the HBO special I did that aired, I guess, 2 years ago, I did about 20 minutes of it. None of it memorable. No,
I must have been drunk because I saw that HBO special like 5 times, although I probably saw the same 18 minutes
That's
5
what I
times.
do. That's all I ever do when I watch my friends and stuff. And then the last 15 or 20 was guitar. And I sang a song that I sang today, which is called My Dog Licked My Balls, which is not a true story, but it seems humorous.
Isn't that weird when you're doing the HBO, whether it be a fight or whether it be a stand-up comedian, and you flip on 2 days later, and it's always the exact same fucking time you flipped on last
I did that with
time?
Chris Rock's special. All I wanted to do was watch it, and it's the same exact spots, which I love, but evidently I need to download it and watch it.
The Chris Rock special, the last Chris Rock special, I felt was a great idea, doing the thing he's doing the same act in 30 different countries and 30 different locations and all that, and then sort of whacking it together. But for some reason, it would seem better on paper than it was in execution. I'm not blaming anyone, and it was still good.
How many times did you see it?
Well, I saw the same 18 minutes 44 times. So, according to those, basing it all on those same 18 minutes, I didn't see it soup to nuts, as we call it.
You know
in
what
the
it
business.
did, and you know how I love soup and nuts, because that's where I keep my nuts at night, in soup, because that's good. That's how they like it, the women that I roll with.
Sure.
But I watched the first 18 minutes of Chris's thing, and then when I watched it and felt the content of it, then I fell in love with it. So I think it's one of those things where it does take you out, because you're going, wow, it's different locations, same exact beat of the act.
Right.
But then once I got past that, so it took me a couple times to get past, I'm not in New Orleans, I'm not in Africa, I'm just listening to it. Then I really got off on it. But
maybe I got to get past that 18 minutes. It was weird. It was one of these things where, it's.
I mean, he's brilliant, so that's why we're talking.
No doubt, but it's one of these things where it's like, it's interesting being a human, where somebody says, what if we took this food you love and we combined it with this accoutrement you love, and like you love pickled relish, yeah, and you love knockwurst, right? And you go, yeah, and then you go, what if we put the pickled relish on a knockwurst? And you go, oh yeah, awesome. And then they put it on it, and you bite into it, and you go, nah. Didn't work,
and that's what's art. That's what, and we all try to do it, and I'm trying to do it now with this sitcom that before we went live just now.
I have been watching religiously.
The Surviving Suburbia, which it's on the bubble, as they say. So I'm on Wednesdays, but it's a guy show, kinda.
Yeah,
and it's an old school sitcom. That's what people. That's again like the medium is the message, the Marshall McLuhan thing, and that's like, oh, it's a 4-camera sitcom. Oh, no, I think the higher end of television is single camera now, because that's what I've learned. I mean, I'm as a viewer. But for me, the 4-camera, I love it. I mean, there's something about it that I would love to be able to do it and keep it on.
Well,
do it right.
Wednesday nights, 9:30?
Yeah, and it's 8:30 Central, because your thing gets, this is webcast everywhere now.
Yes, it is.
All over the universe.
All over the world. Yeah.
You're remarkable, by the way. What's interesting about what the people don't know about you, besides your heart being giant and your mind having many different compartments, you have this house that you've allowed us to, one of your many 19 homes, because you're a chic. Sure. But this house, I mean, you have gutted the windows here, and you have done work here. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
How much time would you say you have put into construction on this house?
Several hundred hours, but I did do the whole glass thing. And, I just walked into the house when I bought it, and I said, here's what needs to happen. And people said, you can't really do that. And I said, I bet you can do that. And I was able to do that. But Full House was a 4-camera sitcom?
That was 4-camera sitcom.
And
it's funny how you went from house to Full House.
Well, I went house to house. Yeah.
It was a 4-camera sitcom. It was the old school, and it was a bit of a two-dimensional show, because it had a morality play. It was it was like Meatloaf for people.
Listen, I think I've seen every episode of Full House, and it's comfort food. Like it's like one of these things where it's like, I wouldn't say Kraft macaroni and cheese is elegant cuisine. I would just say I like it.
Hey, McDonald's.
Especially when I'm stoned.
Do you eat McDonald's?
Yeah, I mean...
Once a year, I will eat it, and I'll go. It's sense memory. You go, that makes me, I'm like a dog.
I've said it once, I've said it again. A Twinkie is not a pastry, it's a Twinkie.
Yeah.
And it satisfies whatever part of your brain needs.
It takes you back to 5 when someone wasn't beating the shit out of you.
Yeah. We had that little respite between your uncle molesting you.
And not getting laid
we
ever.
could just enjoy that Twinkie. I wonder what percentage of guys lost their virginity to their uncle.
I thought you were going to say to a Twinkie.
Or to a Twinkie.
What about their uncle putting a Twinkie in them? That, if you think about it, it's cream-filled, so it's redundant.
Yeah, it's a good point.
See, I think about it.
I don't know. I had a thought today about people dying before they lost their virginity, and I also had a thought about people being raped by a male before they lost their virginity.
See, now that is a busted hymen. That is major.
What's happening?
How you doing?
We're being recorded.
Oh, sorry, we're being recorded. Yeah,
we are?
theoretically doing a podcast.
Oh, this is the podcast?
Yeah, this is the podcast.
Hey, where's your mic, sir?
Mine's right here.
I came to talk to you about the podcast. You got to talk into the goddamn mic. How about a little mic test?
It's right here. No, we're talking.
I was just busting Donnie's ass. I said everybody sounds good on the show except you.
Here comes Donnie, and I'm sure to appreciate you. We're doing a podcast.
I've already talked to Donnie.
Go talk to Donnie again.
All right.
And I'll be
nice
back.
to see you.
Don't
I know
worry.
you will.
All right, sure. I think people that are annoying know they're annoying. That's my theory.
Yeah. They need to be told it. They actually would like it. They would feed off of that.
Yeah, I listen. I've told Dr. Drew's wife she's a pain in the ass 1,000 times, and she actually respects it.
When you say pain in the ass, do you mean she put something in Drew's ass? Because I suspected
I think that's clear.
That he is okay.
Yeah, she put
I thought he was on the
bubble.
bubble when it came to the sexuality.
There's a little something called dry anal rape, and Drew is all about it.
You know what? It sounds good to me right now. Not to have it done to me, but there's some girls here, I bet, that their anuses aren't self-lubricating. You didn't think I'd finish that sentence, did you?
I did. Speaking of dry anal rape, one time I was interviewing,
Courtney Love?
Yeah, let's
Phyllis
just say
Diller.
Phyllis Diller. No, I was talking to a porn star.
Right.
And I was talking about Jamie. Oh, sorry. Someone's going off stage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to hop up there.
Yeah, it's going to be a walk.
Yeah, I had to run up on stage and do a stage
A
announcement.
fitting tribute.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, Bob Saget, just from even listening to that conversation, he is who we should all aspire to be. Because can you imagine right now? I mean, he did it, but the rest of us, the rest of society in 2022, making the jokes he makes so publicly, so boldly, and being the star of this sitcom where he's basically America's new dad going, oh, I shouldn't make that joke. I don't want to get canceled. Bob Saget, it was never a thought in his head.
Yeah, I think he probably had F me money.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted to make everyone aware that he wasn't Danny Tanner.
Right.
And he said, well, I'm going to let everyone know I'm not this guy from this sort of bubblegum vanilla sitcom. So Saget shall be missed. And I got to tell you, it's, not nary a negative word can be said about the man. And that's ultimately your legacy. So Bob will miss you. All right. On another note, I had this weird little kismety situation, which was I was working on putting my book to bed with Mike Lynch, and we were talking about, and I've brought it up to you guys before, that when I was a young guy, my best friend, Chris, I spent all my time with Chris because his mom made pork chops. His dad had dirt bikes in the garage.
Ooh, wow.
I used to go be able to eat pork chops at his house, and then the next morning, sleep over. The next morning, we'd go dirt bike riding.
Pleasure Island.
Like the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, all the stuff I want to do. I'd have to go to other houses. And his dad was named Rick, and his dad looked like James Garner. He looked like he was the Rockford. He looked like Jim Rockford, and of course, my dad looked like Angel from the Rockford Files. And it was fitting, and it was a joke, but it was both their lives. Like they were living it too. His dad was this good-looking dude who went dirt bike riding and drove a truck and stuff. And I'll show you a picture of James Garner and Rick Bohm. They looked alike, and he was a tall guy, and he was a strapping guy, and And the Rockford Files was a popular show. So it was always, my young comedic mind was like, your dad's Jim Rockford, and my dad's Angel. And Angel was Jim's sort of sidekick, but it was perfect. He wasn't Rooster from other sidekicks, I mean, you can go to AdamCarolla.com. But my dad is Angel.
Oh, wow.
And his dad is Jim Rockford. And Jim Rockford, he got the ladies. He drove a Firebird. He lived the life. And Angel, again, he wasn't Huggy Bear or Rooster from one of the other cop shows. He was a guy who was just like, Jimmy, got the mob. I got some bad guys trying to get to me. And I need you $200. Just give me $200. Angel, you only go to the track with it. But Jimmy, I can get out of it this way. He was this groveling coward, sniveling coward of a man. It was like, Jimmy, what do you want now, Angel? I need $200, Jimmy. Come on now, these are some bad dudes. And it was so perfect because his dad was the dirt bike riding. He had literally like a Harley Davidson, and my dad was sitting on a futon in North Hollywood. And not only did they look exactly the same, but they played the part perfectly.
I bet if you found put Angel next to exasperated Jim Carolla from the little short movie we saw not too long ago, you'd have a pretty good match.
I was kind of hoping Chris would do that.
We liked this one better. We did have that one ready, but this one looked a little bit more accurate.
All right, so the comedy is I was talking to I was working with Lynch over the weekend, and he's like, "Oh, we're doing this bit in the book. We got your dad as Angel and Chris's dad as Jim Rockford." And then he said, you got a picture of Chris's dad? And I said, no, but I bet Chris does. I mean, I'll reach out to Chris and I'll see if he can send a picture of his dad and it looking very Jim Rockford-esque. And then I a day or two went by and I didn't reach out. I just do it on Monday or I'll remember, whatever. And then I was watching football on Sunday with the boys, and we were just talking about old TV shows or something, and somebody brought up the Rockford Files. And they said, you should redo the Rockford Files. That was a cool show. You should be, Jim Rockford. And we're just talking about it. And I said, well, it's funny. I was talking to Lynch, and my dad looked like Angel, and then my buddy Chris, my best buddy Chris, his dad looked like Jim. As I was saying that, the phone rang, and it was Chris.
Great magnet.
Yeah, the great magnet. And I was like, oh, good. So I took the call, and I had a couple of beers, so I had a little lubrication going. And he called, and he went, well, I call every time this time of year. And I'm like, what time of year is it? He said, it's been 10 years since you paid for my sobriety treatment.
Good for him.
And I call you every year to thank you, but now it's been 10 years.
Wow.
And
I'm outside the door.
And he said, I don't think I could. First off, I have no recollection. I don't have a recollection of it. I don't remember. Was the time I remember once when I said to Olga many years ago, she's like, I went to sell my car. I was like, what did you pay for it? And she went, you bought it for me. And I was like, oh. I don't remember lots of good, and I don't remember some bad. I just keep moving, So he reminds me every year that I paid for his treatment,
And here you are, 8 beers in.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, yeah, well, I ate enough pork chops at your house and went enough dirt bike riding, burnt up enough two-stroke gasoline to probably make us about even. But so it was funny. So he goes, it's been 10 years. My life's changed. I want to thank you. It's very important to me. And I was like, yeah, okay. Hey, do you have a picture of your dad? Where's you got a picture of your dad? And he goes, yeah, I got a picture of my dad. I go, oh, okay. Could you find it and send it to me? He's like, yeah, but anyway, I don't think I could have done what I've done. I was like, yeah, but do you have it on your phone? He's like, I think I got something on my phone. Well, just send it in. Send it over, because now I'm dying to show the guys that are at the table because I've just been talking about it. And he's like, yeah, but I just wanted to tell you how important this was. I was like, I get it. It's good. But send the picture Pops over, would you please?
If you really want to tell me how much you appreciate.
That's right. That's exactly what I did.
With every passing year, you and Larry David become one.
Yeah, maybe that's
one intertwined spirit.
Maybe that's it. funny, when I was talking to Sonny last night, he was telling about one of his friends who wanted to go get tickets to see Larry David live.
Didn't know that was a thing.
15-year-old friend.
Wow.
I was like, hey, he's
Wow,
really
I
into
like this
Larry
kid.
David. I was like, oh, this is a smart kid, but I'll see if I can wrangle some tickets. I don't know what it was.
I
Sonny
take
didn't
it
know
you're a
what it was.
virgin.
But either way, we now have confirmation that Chris's dad was, in fact, a Jim Rockford doppelganger, and my dad was, in fact, an angel doppelganger. And it brought me a certain amount of joy back in the day, although I would have liked it the other way around. I think I would have liked my dad to be
on your side.
well, just genetically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Better to be tall and rugged than, hey, Jimmy, you got to help me. You got to find, I don't know, put in Angel from Rockford Files groveling. Because he was really like a modern day Don Knotts. He was like a kind of a Don Knotts character. Like, oh, good, Jimmy. These guys are bad boys. They're coming. They don't understand.
He's old Gil from The Simpsons.
Right.
Oh, come on. You got to give me just one more.
Right. And, well, we'll see if we can.
While he
can
looks
find
that up, I'm sorry for the sacrilege. What is the premise of Rockford Files?
Rockford Files was a PI who was Jim Rockford, and drove a kind of cool car, drove like a Firebird.
Naturally.
And lived, interestingly enough, long before Mel Gibson made it popular, in a trailer down in Malibu. Had the trailer down in Paradise Cove or whatever. And he had his old dad, Rocky, I think his name was. And
Rockford.
He was constantly getting, and he had a good theme. Yeah, he had a good theme song.
Okay.
You remember the theme song?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
No.
You'll remember it. I think if we pull it up, you'll remember the theme song.
Okay.
All right. Well, should we see Angel groveling with Jim?
What's the matter, cat? Bit your tongue? I'm not worried, he said. Daddy, you folded like a cheap paper bag. I never saw it.
Put a cork in it, Angel.
Big goody two-shoes going to be the model citizen. What happened to Mr. Duke?
Angel, you're driving me crazy. Do you understand? I am going crazy. I can't take it anymore.
Years and years and years. I'm going out of my mind.
You're stupid. Ridiculous. Lies and games year after year.
Have me my windpipe.
Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Jimmy?
Just don't say anything. Just don't say anything.
Hey, Jimmy?
What?
I'm sorry. Stick a fruit gum?
All right. Well, you can probably find one of him groveling.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's the most viewed one.
Using the take with the helicopter. Bold move.
Yeah, the theme song we decided was one of the better theme songs minus lyrics in TV history, and I think you'll know it.
We played it on this show before, I assume.
I assume we had to.
So is this when, you know how you say like spandex and big hair gave way to like grunge? Isn't it the same with theme songs where it's like telling a 3-minute expository thing of how they got stuck on this island gave way to just horns and drums?
Yeah, I guess so. They went minimalistic, but well, we'll see. We just play it, right, Chris? Just
it's loading. We'll put it up in a sec.
All right, and if you can find him groveling, that'll versus the most popular clip.
Well, that was he was still kind of groveling in that.
First off, Jim did all the talking in
Yeah.
that. So that's kind of number one.
Leslie told him not to talk.
And I wouldn't really typify that as him groveling.
Okay, well I'll do a better job next time.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Doing a lot of drinking in this opening. This is not the opening, but
this is fan made.
This is fan made, yeah.
Is the song the song?
Same song.
Okay,
yeah,
song's
so
cool.
you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy on the synthesizer.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see.
Not a lot of great YouTube stuff on Rockford Files.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's got to go buy the DVD.
All right. Let me tell you guys about Concrete. Yeah, number one, stimulant-free pre-workout supplement. Concrete patented creatine, HCl, is a favorite of elite and informed athletes. All the strength and endurance benefits of creatine without the negative side effects like cramps and diarrhea. It's the only creatine females should be using for increased lean muscle, no water retention or bloat. Dr. Drew swears by this stuff. So do I. Your brain uses 20% of the creatine in your body, so Concrete fuels your body and your mind. And like I said, it's just a very little bit. It comes with a little container, a little scooper. You put the little scoop in. I put it in a water bottle. You shake it up. You're going for a hike or you're going to work out. Down some of that and let your body take over. And you can start your New Year's resolution and do it right with Concrete. Amplify those workouts and burn some extra holiday calories, right, Dawson?
Optimize your health and fitness, both body and mind. Build a better you with Concrete. And if you register now at concrete.com/podcast, you can win a free membership to Planet Fitness for an entire year plus a $500 Walmart Visa gift card. That's con-cret.com/podcast to be one of multiple winners. And Concrete is now available online and in-store at Walmart. Concrete is truly changing fitness and health.
So we spoke to Stefanie Matto. She was canning her farts, putting them in jars, sending them to people. It was a big story, and she'd made tons and thousands of dollars from doing this. And then shortly after that interview, it turned out she was hospitalized, I believe, and had an issue because of her diet, maybe some ass burnout because of doing too much. So the doctor said, change your diet back and easy. I guess like if you busted up your shin skateboarding, the doctor would go, oh, well, no more skateboarding for you.
Right.
At least for 6 months.
She had that with farting in jars, but we'll get an update from her right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. Scott, 49, Harrisburg. Just wanted to let you know that I do indeed have it on. Good day.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
So Stefanie Matto is on line one. Stefanie?
Hello.
Hello. How are you feeling?
It's a little bittersweet right now, I have to be honest.
Yeah, you'd caught the world's imagination,
Indeed.
I think, by farting into jars and filming it and then selling those jars. And you're making tons of money. And it was a very only in America. It was a very Don King type moment in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, were you actually hospitalized?
Yes. So actually, it was around Christmas time. I had so many orders that had come in, and, I got a little bit too greedy, and I thought that maybe I could take all of these orders. So with my diet, I was completely out of control. I was taking in not a normal human portion amount of beans and protein shakes. And I ended up actually having my friend take me to the emergency room in the middle of the night because I thought I was experiencing a heart attack. But then according to the doctors who ran an EKG and a whole blood panel, it turned out that I was actually just having very severe gas pain. And when they discharged me, they said that I should not drink 3 large protein shakes a day and eat the amount of beans that I've been eating. So I, this effectively kind of ended my business and, forced me to kind of take things in a new direction.
Well, first off, it seems like if you got down, I haven't taken a look at the fart pyramid, but it seems like you could do between 8 and 10 farts a day.
Right.
From a healthy standpoint.
You just might just do it anyway.
Right.
Not even knowing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And, I totally agree. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I actually sent out a fart jar order today.
Oh.
So there's still some people who are hitting me up and are willing to pay an even larger premium, and they know that I'm kind of like out of commission at the moment. I am on like a case by case basis doing it, but it's also a lot of time to take out of your day to eat all of this food and then just kind of sit around. And once you're feeling like you're going to be farting enough to actually jar it, it's not like you can go out or hang out with friends or have, much of a social life unless you want to go out and be farting the whole time. So, I'm definitely much more limited now. And if I do send out any, it will be on a very limited basis.
Wow.
And like I said, a lot of folks would have outsourced this to China or India,
Right.
but not you. You're keeping it real, and it's commendable. But then, what do you get on to? What's next?
Yeah. So, I've always been very interested in crypto and NFTs, and around the time of the hospitalization, I was also in contact with a digital artist and developing a line of NFT fart jars. And so we actually did launch that shortly after the hospitalization. And those, I'm not even joking, those have actually been almost as successful, if not more successful, than the physical fart jars at this point. We have sold over 600 NFT fart jars at around, a value of $200 each. So, we've made over $100,000 with the NFT fart jars at this point.
Yeah.
In less than a week. So it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. It struck me that a porn star, only has one penis or one pussy. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, you can make a plaster cast of your hog or your vagine and then sell those.
Yeah.
This feels a little like that.
Merch.
Yeah. Exactly. 100%. And, I feel that having digital farts in the metaverse makes it so much more easily accessible. And I think it continues to break the taboo and stigma. Like, we are taking the farts into like the tech and crypto community. Like, what's next? Are we going to launch a perfume, a candle? I don't know. Like, the possibilities are endless. And I think that, people are grossed out by the story at first, or, think it's like super, super weird. But at the end of the day, the moral is everybody farts. Girls fart. And, it's nothing to be ashamed of. And actually, farts are funny at the root of it. And we all need a little bit of laughter in these dark times.
Nothing makes me laugh like a well-timed fart. I am always been a big fan. I do want to start a show where we explain our current world to like founding fathers or Sir Walter Raleigh or something like that.
Sure.
And you would be on the first episode because we would have to cover NFTs and girls farting and how do you chronicle it? Do you have a scribe? And like, no, we film it. We could get into the invention of the video recorder.
This woman is very wealthy. In fact, she's in the top 1% of earners. Would you like to guess what she does? Oh, model.
Seamstress?
Captain of industry. Started a car company.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't even know that.
Oh, that's a good point.
A cart company, perhaps.
Yeah, no, obviously it goes without saying she's a witch.
Yeah, she manufactures Merkins. So for you, it must be, you told me your mom was on board with the plan. I think last time we spoke, but she's got to be relieved that you're not just sitting there chugging Ensure and garbanzo beans every day.
My mother actually, the other night, I was on Instagram and I was looking at my comments and somebody was saying something really horrible about me. And she came in and she defended me and she said, I'm not ashamed of my daughter. I'm proud of her. And, you're the one that's the loser. And that really touched my heart to see my mom defending me like that and having my back.
Well, it's interesting from a psychological standpoint, but you can tell me this happened. When you work in traditional forms of work, you don't get into this thing, which is like when I used to work construction, then I just worked construction and you got paid to build things. But then on the weekend, you had your time to yourself. And then when you get into comedy and performing and other forms of that, there's an instance where you can get $50,000 to do some corporate gig and do 20 minutes somewhere. Or you could just do 20 minutes for free at a local comedy club or something like that. But it's essentially the same act. One you get paid for, one you don't. And sometimes you think, man, wouldn't it be nice to get paid each time 50 grand? But when you're making $200 a fart, you got to get up in the morning and blow a little gas and go, there went $700 right out my ass. Like, it's got to be a little bit of a mind fuck, right? Like, you got to be like, every time you toot, or if like you're sitting in a movie theater and you're halfway into the movie and you're like, oh, I feel one coming on a shit. Should I go fart into a paper cup out in the lobby? Or like, it's got to be a little weird that every time you fart and set it free, you've just said goodbye to potentially a couple $100, right?
I think so. And there was a period of time that I was being trapped in that like toxic way of thinking where like every time I farted, it was just like, I would kind of get sad, like I'm losing money. But I think it goes down to the fact that farts don't belong in jars.
That's right.
Farts deserve to be free. So free the farts.
No, I feel that way about those puppy mills. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everyone should adopt a stray fart. Yeah.
Adopt, don't shop.
Yes. Oh, that fart? That was a rescue. What percentage of these were silent but deadly versus ones that really blew the kazoo?
I think, actually most of them. I'm not really a loud farter. I don't know if that means I have like a loose butthole, but like,
oh yeah,
they're not very loud, which I guess is good. I'm very stealthy.
Yeah, but if you're videoing it, I think you want some audible confirmation.
Yeah, unfortunately. And that is one of the tricky things for sure. In the beginning, I'll be honest, there was one video where the guy complained that like the fart wasn't loud enough. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know, turn up the volume. Like,
please tell me he was outraged and started it with dear sirs. To whom it may concern.
With the silent ones, it must fog up the jar a little bit though, right? You got a little evidence. Like you breathed into a jar.
I don't know.
It's a 98-degree air coming out.
Could we see a change in the jar? Did it?
The atmosphere.
I've farted in a lot of jars. I've never noticed it changing.
Well, it's down there.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I mean it's like it gets some of that may be like a little bit steamy because. There's moisture in there and it's encapsulated, but that kind of goes away.
So now that you've hung up your whoopee cushion,
your shit shingle,
well, not hung it out, hung it up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
See, I'm treating the fart jars like an artist that died. You know what I mean? Like this thing just went up in value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a very limited supply. She's no longer producing, and I was early money on the fart jar.
Who has an original pet rock?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the people who still have unopened fart jars sitting at home from their orders that they got around Christmas, those might go up in value.
Name your price.
So I think that's one cool thing if they ever want to resell it. If they want to invest in the Fart Jar NFTs on fartjarsnft.com, they can. And actually, 100 of the 5,000 Fart Jar NFTs do come with redeemable physical fart jar. So, that's like the last batch that I'll ever do. So if people really want to get their hands on one, they could. And I think, now is maybe an opportunity for someone else to take over. I can pass the baton to somebody else.
Right.
I would like a heavy-set male to step into this role.
I didn't see that coming.
Someone who really could break down some barriers, you know what I mean?
But maybe Maybe AJ Benz's nephew.
Oh my God, you're right.
But isn't that the what attracts us to this? What Stephanie's doing? Because for a man it was no big deal, right? For the woman to take up the mantle.
Yeah. Well, it's called mantle.
That's a good point.
So listen, this is 100% straight male, your community, I believe. I would argue the straightest of all the males is interested in one of these fart jars. But there's always the gay demographic. And I feel like we got a guy like John Hamm. You know what I mean?
Go on.
Like in between doing VO work for Mercedes to lay down. I feel like the gay community would rally around his ass.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Instant celebrity in that world.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd buy John Hamm's fart.
That's just where we do the cross pollination. We put you guys together, you know, and it'd be one of those things. It'd be like prostitution. The female prostitutes are for the straight guys, and the male prostitutes are for the gay guys. It's not for the straight women, you know. I know Ham. I'll blow a call into him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I would love it. Or Keanu Reeves. Do you have contact with him? Because, I mean, I tried to offer him a free fart jar through the press, and I don't think the story ever reached him. So I'm disappointed.
Adam knows Keanu.
I know Keanu. I know John. I think, you know, I'd obviously have to start with hear me out.
This is going to sound crazy,
but you're leaving money in the ether, man, and on the table. I mean, the gay. If Keanu Reeves started his own line of signature fart jars, I feel like the gay community, who has more disposable income than the gay community? You know what I mean?
Literally no one.
We've all had it. The kitchen table problems. You're trying to make ends meet. You got the wife, you got the kids. I want to blow $180 on a fart. My wife's saying the kid needs braces. I'm telling him it's a good investment. It's a tough sell.
Yeah, braces forever.
But
I know what I meant.
The gay community, they just have more income to spend on this kind of stuff. So,
and when you talk about Keanu, I think you could even sell the healing properties of a Keanu Reeves fart.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know, because he's very spiritual and holistic.
And he has a musk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In general.
How high is he on the gay popularity list? I asked Gina.
Well, thank you, because that is something I should know. You know, I have many, many gay friends, and he doesn't come up a lot.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I don't know. I still think there's something there.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, look, I
think he's the kind of guy that a lot of guys would let their girlfriends fuck him if they had the chance.
Yeah, get pregnant. You got John Wick money.
Yeah. Well, that'll be part of my pitch. So, all right, now I'm taking this a different direction. So for you, it's all about NFTs and with a dusting of farts, but no longer your full-time gig.
Yeah, you know, I enjoyed my time being America's sweet fart, but now it's over, I guess. I flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm entrepreneurial, and I'm always expanding. I'm always trying new things, and I really am excited about the NFT venture. I feel like it's weird and fun enough to really be like a lasting thing in the NFT community. And, you know, I am actually thinking about also doing fart candles. Like, you know, just try to capture the scent with like a candle maker and, you know, price it a little bit lower, because I want the farts to be accessible to the middle class or lower income people as well.
You're like an NBA baller who's coming out with their own shoe, but doesn't want it to be $200. He wants
Stephon Marbury.
The inner city kids got to be able to go play some blacktop with these shoes.
$44.99
for that candle. You start the fart candle commercial. Now, back in the day, you're too young to remember this, but there was a Memorex commercial that they cooked where Ella Fitzgerald was scatting famously, and they had a wine glass.
Scat?
And she was scatting. She's going, whoa! And the glass cracked, exploded. Now, it was cooked. Ella Fitzgerald didn't do that. But I say we start with a lit candle and you blow it out with your ass. Now, I'll be off camera with a little duster spritz of air, you know.
Yeah, but
the keyboard cleaner.
The keyboard cleaner. I'll just blow it out. But you just will start it. That'll be the commercial for it, much like Ella and the Memorex tape.
I love that idea, and I'm so down for using that. Heck yeah.
Great. You know what you should do? You got to diversify. Go on a very light cycle of like hormone therapy, like estrogen. Start producing breast milk for a pairing. You got to double every customer. Every customer. Don't turn your nose up at that.
I'm out.
Don't turn your. My point is, everyone who bought the fart is in for the breast milk.
Yeah.
She's not selling to you or me, buddy.
Well, maybe, but I think some of these gents, that reminds them too much of their mom, and I feel like the clientele has issues. No, they have issues with mom. Thus, they're attracted to the fart jar. I think you could, if I interviewed any of these gents, I'd find out that they weren't in good standing with their mom.
All I'm saying is pairing.
Okay. Well, you may be on to something there. Stephanie, I would never bet against you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to send my son over to your compound in a few years, and you're going to have to give him a job doing something.
Farting.
Absolutely. I'll employ him. He can come on over and be a part of the fart empire.
Yeah, he's. I've always.
Is he a fartrepreneur?
I think he is.
Yeah.
A budding fartrepreneur.
Incredible.
FartJarsNFT.com is where you go. Stefanie Matto, thank you for the catching up. Thank you.
Can I confess that I may have looked into that for the staff Christmas gift this year?
The fart jar?
Yes. Can you imagine if 8 of those showed up?
Now, here's the question, because she comes across as very sincere, and that's something I love about her. But what are the odds she is our generation's Andy Kaufman?
Oh, yeah. Well, why not? Why not an Andrea Kaufman?
That's right.
We have Ella breaking the glass. I think the whole thing was cooked, though.
They could have gone with a better glass. It's like a banquet glass for water.
Well, I think it was cooked.
Well, it was definitely cooked. If you listen closely to the sound of the glass, there is no variation. That is the exact same sound 3 times.
Now they would have to have a whole scroll on the bottom, which is do not attempt, professional scatter.
If you broke the glass that many times, the sound would be different. You're not going to get the same sound every time.
There you go. Come on.
All right. Let's see. Let me tell you guys about BetterHelp. Maybe you feel like you need some after that segment. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We talk about BetterHelp a lot on this show. And this month, we're discussing some of the stigmas around mental health. Don't wait until things are unbearable for therapy. Therapy is a tool. You can utilize it before things get worse. Helps avoid the lows. And look, everything that's going on in our society, people talking a lot about getting your body right, but let's get that head right too, man. You take care of your body, you go to the gym, you go to the doctor, you're into nutrition. Now let's focus on the mind. BetterHelp. Customized online therapy offering video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. More affordable than in-person therapy. Get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. It's BetterHelp, right, Dawson?
See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy, and Adam Carolla Show listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/Carolla. That's BetterHelp.com/CAROLLA.
Well, our next guest has been nominated for 6 Grammys, has had 6 songs, charted on Billboard's Hot 200. 2 top 10 hits, many studio albums. He is electronic music producer DEADMAU5, and we'll talk to him right after this. DEADMAU5 is with us. You can shoot him a tweet at deadmouse.com. Quick correction, the Ella Fitzgerald thing could have been real, or was real, as long as it was amplified that heavily. So a correction there. We'll give the woman her due. DEADMAU5 is here. Played. God, what was your biggest? I've seen some of the footage of your shows, but like, what's the biggest crowd you played to?
The biggest crowd was like probably Rock in Rio.
How many people were in the crowd?
I think it was 120,000 people.
Damn.
It was nuts.
Christ.
You could feel the ground moving like on the stage, and I thought it was just like our shit or something like that, some weird thing happening on the stage, but it was actually, they were like, because I don't know, for whatever reason, the festival grounds that they were on was kind of like just soft soil or whatever, and then when everybody's like, you can actually feel, it feels like a train like right beside you. It's really, really cool. That was nuts. But I think it stops after, let's say 60,000. You can't tell the difference between that because you just.
Adam, is that true?
I feel that way with blowjobs.
I think so, unless you know exactly what the ticket count was. But I think that's the
Well,
the
it's
personal
like
best.
it's like you can only see, I don't know, 27 miles or something. There's a horizon, and then
Well,
the
they weren't
Earth,
lined up, like-
the Earth starts to curve, and you don't know what's beyond the horizon. So, how does, first off, I know how you got the Dead Mouse moniker, but how did you get the Dead Mouse moniker?
It's like, as explained, man, it's so Googleable. But, you know, I found a
people
dead mouse in
listening
a
are
computer.
driving.
And
Yeah.
I was like very prevalent on these like chat rooms, an early pre-internet stuff. And my my alias in some circles was that dead mouse guy because of the mouse situation that I found in a computer. So instead of like me trying to come up with some cool hacker name, everyone else just deferred to, oh, this is the dead mouse guy. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to own it at this point. So.
Well, and in a weird way, you can't give yourself a name. Other people have to give you the name.
Yeah, that's right.
To some degree.
Yeah. Because it's a little ostentatious. You know, when you pick your own name and then you're like, I'm this, you know? That's kind of weird.
When I played high school baseball, I tried to give myself the name Clutch Carolla. But after you strike out for the third time and you're walking back to the dugout,
It's
hey,
more of an
Clutch!
ironic moniker.
The ball and play next time, Clutch.
Nice swing, Clutch.
The guy's in scoring
Open
position.
your eyes next time.
Yeah, it doesn't take. That's for others. So you grow up. Your dad's working at a GM factory.
How do you know that?
I read.
You do your research. Wow. I was
but you have a kind of a combination because your mom's in the arts and your dad's kind of in the trades, right?
I love it when they do basic research. That's so good. Yeah, it was cool. Like, yeah, my dad worked at GM. My mom was the stay-at-home mom, and you know, did mom things for three of us, and that was that. And I mean, while you know, I was like kind of trying to get through high school, taking shit apart and all that stuff, and learning all this tech that was like coming out that a lot of like studios didn't necessarily know about because they're all still using Ampex and reel-to-reels and tapes and stuff like that. So I was just like, you know, at the right time frame to be picking up, you know, digital recording and stuff like that. So then I had that edge when I could go into a studio and say, hey, you know, you can do all this stuff that you're doing with these tapes on a computer, right? And they're like, oh, what? You know, and then
was it a slow build, or was there a breakthrough where you really quantifiably jumped ahead in your career?
No, it was super slow, and I'm super grateful for that too, because I just see so many shit shows that like occur from like, you know, Hobby Lobby to main room at Ministry of Sound or headlining EDC the next day. It's kind of weird how that happens, but no, it was a slow grind, and honestly, I had no aspirations of being on a stage or anything like that. I still wanted to work in the field and be, you know, in the rear with the gear. I wanted to be that guy, little studio engineer dude, you know, helping other people like you know, transcribe their craft to digital realms and stuff like that. And then I thought that, well, there's going to be such a demand for that, and you can't get canceled for that, so I'm just going to do that, you know.
Did you, like, I always wanted to do radio, but not TV, but at some point it just got kind of pushed into it a little bit. But I like doing radio. I like sort of being behind the scenes, so to speak. Was that something that it wasn't because I was shy or had issues. I just wasn't attracted to it and would put makeup on.
I don't like flying around. You know,
Yes.
I say that, you know, the shows I do for free, but you got to pay me some serious money to get on a plane.
Well, how much money can you make?
It depends.
I mean, some of these guys,
of course, you could say
nuts,
this
right?
and that and the other thing, but it's so sliding scale. Like, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, the corporate gigs, the private parties and stuff like that for large corporations where they just want to chuck money around. Of course, you can go crazy with that, or, you know, that crazy dude out in Saudi Arabia that just wants to have you for a dinner party, that kind of thing. That can go one way. And then, and then just something because you want to do it. Like Belly Up, for example, in Aspen. It's a legendary venue. It's like it's the tiniest bar, 200 capacity, but it's just such a good time that I love to do it. You know what I mean? It's not like I go in and start puffing my chest and demanding like these ridiculous fees, or even my local spots in Toronto. I'll go and do for next to free, just because I enjoy that atmosphere and those people and those promoters and those kind of hangouts and stuff like that. So it's all very sliding scale. Of course, I mean, I run a business too, so I've got bills to offset and stuff like that. So cue the agency and let them kind of delegate where I need to be and when and for how much to make it make sense.
How is your GM factory worker dad with all this?
Oh, he's great. He calls me every time he needs tickets. Yeah, perfect.
What percentage of people in the concert are rolling on something or something or another?
I want to say it's calmed down in the last 5 years.
But it has.
I think so. I think it's just become less of a overpaid babysitter and purveyor and creating an environment where it's socially acceptable to do that kind of shit, because just people just don't do it in their homes really, or out in the public parks, or where I don't know where one goes to park. Like, because where else would you do E?
Yeah.
Other than if we took away an event, if we took away electronic music events or something like that, where the fuck do you do that shit? Do you go in a basement, like at your friend's house? And
amusement parks or theme parks would be probably the best place.
Okay. Well, let's take away those two.
No, I'm saying.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Deep fall.
There's always been, I don't know, two schools of thought, which is like people go like, let's take mushrooms and go to Disneyland.
Right.
And I'd be like, no, let's take mushrooms and bring Disneyland to us. Like, I felt like that's what mushrooms
Sounds
were.
like some mushroom shit, man.
I could get high on mushrooms and stare at an aquarium, and that was like an amusement park. I didn't feel the need to supplement it, but that was like, pop a Mentos before you give me a blowjob. It's like, we're getting a blowjob. That's enough. And we'll have the Mentos for the ride home.
Right. Well, I mean, I've never partaken, believe it or not.
Really?
Like in crazy shit, Okay, sure. I've smoked a joint or two, like in my 20s or something like that. But that's like the height of it. And I kind of have this FOMO.
FOMO?
Yeah, the fear of missing out.
Oh, it's an acronym.
I learned that one this year too.
Oh, good.
I figured, I was like, I don't know.
You should know that.
Yeah.
FOMO.
But I had this fear of missing out in terms of like,
Well, I'm YOLO, but go ahead, FOMO.
Yeah. But when I think about okay, let's do some mental exercise here and say like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Now I have to figure out, where am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do it at a concert or an amusement park, or am I gonna do it like by myself in a bedroom, or should I just go like straight to the hospital and do it like in the waiting room? Just in case.
Plus, you're a pretty recognizable guy.
You know what? And actually, you know what the best place to do it would be? Is a casino.
Yeah.
Because all eyes are on you. And if you hit the ground, I think, you know what?
Yeah.
When I'm in my 80s, that's where I'm going to be.
Some fear and loathing shit.
No, just because you got cameras. Like, if anything happens to you, you're good.
Yeah, they got paddles nearby.
He made, depending on who's listening, he's not that recognizable. And I feel like you did that on purpose as well.
Yeah, it could be either or.
Yeah, do you have a giant, speaking of theme parks, do you have a giant head on? Do you not have a giant head on?
Yeah, right. No, I think I leave it at home.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we should get Stefanie the Fart Girl to hook up some conduit to the mouse head.
Oh my God!
Oh my!
You could really roll.
I was just listening to that. I can't believe I got a Fart Girl to open up. She's a tough opener. That one. Like, how do I do better than this?
Oh, there's no doing better. But you can.
Now I'm wondering how much my farts go for. Like 25 grand.
It's one way to find out, man.
Yeah, right.
Did now? There's a lot of. How do you look at a Paris Hilton type? And what do you think?
Okay, you know what? You would
have
have gotten two very different answers from me about 10 years ago and now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, give me the 10-year-old answer.
Oh,
and give me the.
She did a pose. She's coming into our scene and she's ruining it for everyone. Now, I just don't give a shit, man. If it makes her happy and it brings joy to her tiny black heart, do it. It's great. Like, good for you. I used to be so competitive with everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
and I think that just comes with anything that you kind of like invest like 5 years into. And then after maybe like 15, 20 years, you're just kind of like, you accept that everybody loves this stuff, or lots of people enjoy it. And there's people that like would love to be, you know, kind of what you're doing and that kind of thing. And you just embrace it at that point. So it's like, so now it's great. You know, it's just good. It's good. It's good for the economy, even though the world is such a piece of shit place that like it would take someone like Paris Hilton to come in and fill a room and, you know, draw eyes on this shit. You know what I mean? And then another person that kind of just at least broadens the window for them to get in and do that thing. So be it. You know, so I have no love lost on any of these, you know, people or celebrities getting into electronic music. Like, have at it.
I got some car questions, but go ahead.
Good.
Oh.
Me too, actually.
Oh, sorry. Follow-up question about that. I'm not asking you to shut on any one person or any people,
Sure.
but what, for those of us who may not know, what separates a great DJ from either an average, ordinary, run-of-the-mill, or bad?
That's weird. That's a loaded question because it's like a DJ, right? If we break it down, it's like, you know, a disc jockey, right? Someone who just like, you know, performs music. And then there was a period in history where a DJ could be booked as kind of like a headliner thing, which was weird because
billboards
also
in Vegas,
yeah, right. Where so now you've got this guy or girl who comes up on stage and just plays other people's shit, you know, at the same speed. And I think Bill Burr did a great bit on that. On like what a DJ does kind of thing, you know, where it's like driving your car on the highway and then someone's keeping up with you and he's like all missed up. How are they doing that? You know,
Right.
Yeah. So it's like that thing. And that was a really good bit. But it's like that, right? So now DJs in the last like 10 years aren't just that. They always have to have some kind of production hit themselves or some kind of music catalog of themselves too. So now you're asking who's the more proficient producer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As opposed to who can play music, a song and another song at the same speed at the same time, and then just keep a party flowing. And then you're going to bring in elements like, ooh, they really read the crowd and played what they wanted to play. And then if you're going to quantify it like that, then it's like, now we're going to go back into Wolfman Jack fucking era. You know
That's all. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Adam's playing it pretty cool because he's a big EDM fan. He's never said a bad word about DJs.
You know what? I know why.
But I grew up listening to Chicago and Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
I
and
grew up
stuff like
listening
that.
to Steely Dan, Tears for Fears.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Dave
love Steely
Brubeck.
Dan. Ooh, Dave Brubeck.
Yeah.
Take 5, man.
Yeah.
So cars.
Yeah, I seen that. I had to Google it. A little.
I have a bunch of other cars in a bunch of other places, but I'm looking here on my screen, and you recently had a McLaren P1 that you sold. McLaren is, I would say, the supercar equivalent to your musical world is sort of a McLaren. It's a lot of technology.
Yeah.
Versus it's not an old trombone.
Yeah.
But also reading here that Ferrari once sued you because you wrapped your 458.
Well, they didn't sue me. I'm not worth the paper Ferrari could put their letterhead on. But they made some noise about me wrapping up. Oh no, it wasn't the wrap, right? Because obviously we some god awful shit done to Ferraris, right?
Yeah, wrapping is when instead of painting it matte purple, you
just
you
cover
put
it up
shrink
so you
wrap
can
it.
sell it later and not lose your pride or whatever. But what they really kicked up dirt about is the horse badges. I took them off and I put like a prancing cat. And then I had you can't see it in the photos, but I also
can picture.
And I changed the letters too. I had them custom milled to say Ferrari instead of Ferrari, and their argument is that I would be like, I'm like
A
kind of
copyright infringement or something.
sort of like that, but like with the intent that like I'm gonna sell
Like,
it like
you're gonna
that,
make
and it's
your own.
not a Ferrari. I'm like, I don't think I would really have parted with it. But the funny thing was about all that, after all that, they kicked some dust up and stuff like that. Yeah, there's the cat
Ferrari.
badge.
That's pretty sweet.
I thought it was funny, and they did not. But Lamborghini thought it was funny, so we canned that Ferrari, and then we did it to a Huracan, and we called it the Purican. And we did the exact same thing to that, and then it was just kind of like
The
end of the joke.
Huracan, which starts with an H, but I think they called it an Huracan. Maybe it's a Huracan.
The
Anyway,
Huracan.
That's
Huracan.
the equivalent to the 458, but made by Lamborghini. And
four-wheel drive.
Oh yeah, it's all-wheel drive. Yeah, maybe a more car, but in the same sort of the Whopper versus the Big Mac. Like that's their version of their thing. So because I did a documentary on it, the prancing horse came from the side of a fighter plane from World War I.
Really?
There was like the Duke of whoever had the prancing horse, like his family's crest,
sigil
on the side of his canvas covered bi-wing or tri-wing plane, and the family came to Ferrari after, and the guy died in World War I, and said, "You may use this horse that is our family crest,
but you can't turn it into a cat."
I was in the fine print.
It was definitely down there.
Yeah, and then Lamborghini's only around because Ferrari was dismissive of him and threw him out of his office, and Lamborghini said, "I'm going to make my own car." So it makes sense that Lamborghini is still kind of on that, which is if Ferrari doesn't want you, we'll take you.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Now, the question with the Lambo and with the Ferrari, on one hand, you can hurt a car's value by removing its badges and putting a cat on the side of it. On the other hand, if it's the right person doing it, you can enhance the value of the car.
You know what? I really, really tried to sell the Ferrari on like Auto Trader. I just like, that thing is like when you get something like gaudy from someone and you just have so much bitter resentment to them, you're like, okay, I'm selling this, and I'm selling it for cheap. So I put it up on Auto Trader, and honestly, really no one bid on it. And I thought, like, for sure, like we won the gumball in that car.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And it was
What?
Yeah, we won.
Why wasn't this on my goddamn sheet?
Yeah, right.
You did New York to L.A.
No, that was the Miami to Ibiza one.
Oh,
yeah,
that one.
Yeah. We smoked it.
what?
We won the Spirit of me and Tori Bellici won the Spirit of the Gumball Award in the Ferrari. This was before Ferrari shut us down, right?
Right.
So it already had all this like intrinsic value attached to the car. You know what I mean? Like it's got some C-list celebrity ownership on a good day, and it won the Gumball. I think I lost money on it when I sold it.
I can tell you this with the car dudes. Not so much into the electronic DJ dance scene, that group. And so it's weird if there's certain names that move their needle, like Steve McQueen.
Yeah, McQueen, 100%.
They definitely go for that. But folks like yourself out of their demo.
Yeah.
So what was that Gumball rally like?
It was a rock show on wheels. It was so fun, man.
I've seen a doc on it, I think.
Yeah?
I've definitely seen footage of it. Like
they've been
chronicle
doing it for a while.
it.
I think they're on like
how does it starts in Miami?
Every year they switch the route. But that particular one, it started out in Miami, and then we drove up to New York, put them on a freight plane thing. And
barge.
No, it was a plane. They put it on a plane. And
Transport.
They flew them to Scotland, and then we took a separate charter to Scotland, met up with the cars, and then drove all the way from Scotland down through France and to Spain, and it was exhausting.
Was it how many days did it transpire?
It was like 5 or 6, which isn't a lot.
Damn.
Wow, that's
that many
fast.
Kilometers. Yeah.
Were you hauling ass the whole time?
Yeah,
What was it like driving in Europe? Because they have a lot of speed cameras.
Yeah.
Oh there, right?
Man, I got dinged so bad so many times. Like a lot of the times, they kind of let it go, depending where you were. But I was actually arrested in France. They took me to jail. But but the funny part was I was pulled over by a motorcycle cop, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? Put me in the back of the fucking bike? And he's like, you must follow me. And I was like, how does he know I'm not just gonna
How fast were you going?
I think I don't remember exactly, but it was probably like 80 over something, like kilometers.
Right.
So enough for them to say, yo, you're going to jail. So, and then I went, and I didn't. It was really weird. I lost my wallet at some Waffle House or something, and in the States. But I was just like, I didn't have my passport. I didn't have ID or nothing. They just pull over this Canadian kid with a Canadian plated car going speeding in this little tiny town near Nice. Yeah, it was near Nice. And they were like, okay, well, let's, the first step, who are you? I'm like, I don't have any.
Were you wearing the mouse head?
No.
So they recognize
No.
you.
I had a glove compartment with some euros in it, and that's about it. I'm like, can we start it here? He's like, no, you just come to jail. And then they got my parents' names and stuff like that. And I said, oh, you're not going to call my dad, are you? And they were just like, they were not having that joke. So they locked me up in a holding cell where I was like, can you smoke in here? And they're like, no, you have to go outside. So they like opened the door and like just let me go outside. But he's like, I got your keys, so you're not going anywhere. And I was like, fair enough. But we had to wait there for I had to wait there for about 4 or 5 hours because we had the Sprinter van for like a support car, and they got lost trying to find us, and they ended up going to like 3 different jail-y things or police stations trying to find me, and they couldn't find me, and my phone died, and it was just I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my life now.
And how much it cost to get you out?
Like €200 or something. I think they just wanted to.
Jam you up.
They needed the company or something. Yeah.
They must have known the gumball was coming through town, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're probably just doing that whole I got one of you things. You know what I mean?
Were they
This year?
Yeah. Sorry.
This year they're going in May from Toronto to Havana.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So a crazy experience, but probably one you don't need to relive, or you want to do it again?
I want to do that one 100% because Havana is crazy. Like with their car culture, you know about this.
I've seen Fast and Furious 8 like 5 times.
Oh, is it in? Did they integrate that into that?
Fuck
now?
yes,
Of
they
course
did.
they did. So their whole thing is they got all these old cars because the embargoes and all that stuff too. So they take great care of all these cars, and they've never had hypercars or supercars or luxury cars really so much on there.
I mean, like literally cars stopped for them in 1959.
Yeah.
And they don't have anything
And
else.
so they probably got more auto mechanics than
gardeners.
Than not.
Right. It was well chronicled in Fast 8. I think it was Fast 8. Max.
Sounds about right.
You can look it up.
So is that the longest running thing?
There's 25 James
It's
Bonds.
called a franchise.
Okay, never mind.
For example.
All right, got him.
So you're gonna go.
Hey, there it is. There's me
in Nice or outside of Nice.
That was us getting in, like.
What do you?
Going to the clink.
When are you gonna drive to Havana?
I think it's July or August. I don't know.
What car are you looking at?
I'm sending my 720 into fellow in Orange County. No, see that's the other thing too.
Is it a McLaren a 720?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a McLaren.
Yeah,
720.
a 720S. But I tend to avoid the warranty on all my vehicles because I go a little stupid with the ECU retiming and
flash
exhaust
'em.
kits. And no, I upgrade them. We get up to 1,100 horsepower on that.
Really?
Yeah, it's a fucking rocket.
Jesus goddamn Christ. 1,100 horsepower is a lot.
Yeah, it's actually.
of
I think
horsepower.
I had a Senna for a couple of years too, and that thing was great.
Oh,
but
Find me
I
a
think
picture
that
of
720 will smoke it. A Senna. Yeah, if
it's
you did
a
like,
crazy. I just saw one over the weekend parked in Malibu, but the Senna.
It's awesome. I loved it.
You had a Senna.
Yeah, I had number 232.
That has to be in a world of sort of impractical rides. The McLaren Senna has to be at the top of the just least practical.
It's part of the Holy Trinity. It's the extra with the Holy Trinity. Remember the 918 Spider, the P1, and then the LaFerrari.
Yeah,
that was the Holy Trinity, right? And then McLaren was already working on their Senna.
The Senna just has huge scoops and tails and downforce, and it's beautiful. It's a piece of rolling art and technology. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, what's really happened in that world is the carbon fiber world. I talked to the guys from McLaren years ago, and they were like, when we made our early models, like in the early 90s, mid 90s, one carbon fiber tub, or the monocoque as they call it, it would cost $100,000, and it would take 5 guys 2 weeks to make it. And now, because of the technology, they can do it much cheaper and much easier and much whatever. Find me that Senna, Max Zapata.
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right, we'll get a good picture of that.
What did
car.
Hulk Hogan's kid kill his friend in?
Supra.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Ask for my daughter's middle name. What's her nose?
What's her middle name?
She knows what it is.
Supra?
Back off. Yeah. Yeah, it is just, it's beautiful.
I had mine
but
MSO.
It's crazy. You sold it?
No, I had mine MSO.
What's MS?
McLaren Special Operations, where they do the custom little bits and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really
Don't
great.
you
Did
dare
it
put
have
a
Hello Kitty on it?
fucking cat
No.
on that
It
thing.
was really nice. If you probably Google like DEADMAU5, you can probably see it. It had some really great green accents and stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah, so after Ayrton Senna.
But that was the only car that I actually. So the first time I've ever really driven a car was this fellow who worked at Excess, Jesse Waits, was staying at the SLS down here, and I was here. I had just probably the day before walked out of Cole Street with my little thing, the provisional or your first license or whatever. It's very different in Canada. Yeah, you have to do in Canada. You have to do like a year of practice or whatever. You get
a lot of
graduated
rules there.
licensing. Yeah, it's really fucked up. So I get my license. And I get a car, but I don't really get it 100%. So Jesse's like, so you got your license. So he's like, you should go pick up my car and you can drive it. And I was like, oh, all right. And then I go to the SLS, and then they bring his car around. It was a 458 Spider. And I was like, oh fuck.
So your first car you drove is a Ferrari.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh shit, and I didn't want to ask the valet dumb shit. I know how to get in gear and go and stuff like that, but it was just the windows and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I started driving it, and I was so white knuckle doing 20 miles an hour up La Cienega. I was like, oh shit, man.
I would suggest for the Gumball Rally something sporty, but a little more in the SUV department, because just flat on the ground, feeling every speed bump and pothole. I mean, those cars are so low and so stiff. The seats are
New York was not kind.
Yeah.
I bottomed mine out so many times on dumb shit. It's just like that little piece of car or rubber that they put underneath just saved my ass so many times.
Yeah, get something with a little suspension travel.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people do that. They'll take I saw Exhibit spend more time in an Escalade than he did in anything fun.
Fucking Exhibit.
Yeah, I know. He's just in the back with his Xbox playing on the screen while he's just getting driven. No, it was cool. He was a nice guy.
Who? Any
There's
other...
Exhibit. There's Hasselhoff.
Yeah, Hasselhoff. Yeah.
The Hoff did it.
Yeah, he fucked me over too at an auction too. I couldn't believe it.
How do you do that?
I wanted to hustle him on his. So during the Gumball, what we do is there's Tony Hawk and Hasselhoff and this guy, and everyone will kind of bring something, and then they'll have a big Christie's auction. So we're at this Christie's auction thing where it's I bring a mouse head, and then it all goes to the Gumball Foundation for charity and stuff like that. So it's all just kind of like a fun little event that they do. So I bring a mouse head. He Tony Hawk brought a bunch of skate decks and signs stuff like that, and then David brought the jacket from Baywatch with the "Don't give up on your dreams, you can do it" kind of shit on it, right? And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I'm totally gonna bid on that, right? Because who wouldn't? So, his jacket comes up, and they're, they start out $1,000. I'm like, yeah, well, fucking, all right. And then it gets up there, right? Maybe $5,000 or some stupid thing, and then he's, I pretty sure I had the last say. Because I was like, hey, all right, and then and then he bids on his own shit. He ups it by a few $1,000s. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I should have
own shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking and he's like, and I can hear him come on, mouse, come on. And I'm like, this one's pretty much on you now.
Don't hassle the mouse.
And he did. I had to do it because I was just totally pressured into it. But I got it.
You got the jacket.
I got the jacket. I got the fucking jacket. It's in my basement. It's pretty rad.
Well, you're talking to the guy who's the owner of Captain Steubing's jacket from the Love Boats. I feel like we're in a kind of elite fraternity.
You didn't go for the life preserver?
I wasn't. This was purchased for me by a fan and given to me, but it is Steubing. So you got Hasselhoff's. You got the jacket from the beach, but I have the jacket from the sea. Whatever. If you say something with enough conviction, it'll sound important.
Sound important. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, I already got an offer. By the way, someone has offered to.
The auction house has reached out
for your jacket.
Yeah.
I can't be bought at least at double.
Not cheap.
We want to go quad. We can talk about.
Yeah, it's at double right now.
All right, let's take a break. Dead Mouse, you hang with us. We'll come back and do the news right after this.
Well, we already talked about the death of beloved Bob Saget, so let's talk about this guy. Robert Durst. He died in custody early Monday morning, according to his lawyer. He was 78, sentenced to life in prison in October of... What?
Too soon.
Oh, yes, absolutely. For the first-degree murder of his friend, Susan Berman, who was shot and killed in 2000 in her LA home. But that's not all. Durst was charged with murder of his wife, Kathy, who disappeared in 1982, body never found, and then charged with killing his neighbor in Galveston, Texas. Acquitted of that one, though. His lawyer says,
that one he admitted to. Like,
Yeah,
he was
and
like,
that
I
one
killed
didn't-
that guy.
What was the
No, he
doc
said it-
that
he
chronicled
said it was
all this?
The jinx.
He said that one was self-defense. His lawyer says Durst died due to natural causes. He was on a ventilator due to COVID, and not sure who he'll be missed by.
Nobody. There's too many human beings in my head now. Like, I was listening to the news on the way, and Durst died, and I was like, was that? Wait, and I'm starting to think about Whitey Bulger. Or Whitey,
That's right.
who was caught.
Whitey
And I was
Bulger.
like, there's too many infamous people. There's too many famous people. There's just too many. When I was growing up, all I had to do is Dillinger and Captain Kangaroo. Those were like the only two names I had to know.
Al Capone on a stretch.
Yeah, there wasn't so many famous people. Like, we have so many famous people that a famous person dies every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Sometimes
true.
more than one.
Yeah, too many, I would say.
What is where do we draw the line, though?
Well, I think we draw the line at fame when somebody says the name minus the action or the profession.
Right.
So if they just go, if you said you say Betty White died, but you wouldn't go actress Betty White
Right.
died. You
Got
because we
it.
got it. But there are other people where we need the profession in front
And then
of
they're
it.
like,
Or
okay,
some
I may
context.
have heard of that.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Said Robert Durst. People like, I don't know who that is. Like the guy, the 2-part documentary, he killed it. Oh yeah, that guy.
Right.
Fred Durst?
Right.
Speaking of documentaries, I watched one that you'll be shocked by that I'd never heard of the guy. I didn't know anything about this, but I'm sure you guys do. Doc Ellis.
Oh yeah. Living under a bridge.
I was flipping through, the documentaries, and I was like, this looks interesting. And he pitches games on LSD.
Oh,
and
it's
what's
different.
this guy's-
I'm on Doc. I was on Doc.
Doc Ellis was the famous pitcher.
Yeah, I know who Doc Ellis is. I was on Doc, pitcher from the Mets.
Doc Gooden?
Doc Gooden.
Hmm.
Yeah, sorry. They're both equally interesting, but Doc Ellis, interesting.
Yeah, didn't know anything about him. And it was a testament to you when you say, it doesn't matter what the documentary's about, it will be interesting. This was. So in that spirit, I challenge you, Adam, to watch the one about the casting of the Chorus Line revival on Broadway, because it's great.
He's already seen it.
Done and done.
All right, well, yeah.
Doc Ellis set the drug movement back a long time because
And how?
It's high on LSD and then pitches a no-hitter.
Yeah.
The
evils of LSD took a hit that day.
Is this the boomer segment?
No, he admitted. I mean, he did it.
Yeah, he did it. Although I don't know, was he rolling?
Yeah, had he done it the night before?
Yeah, I don't know all the official particulars. But anyway.
Well, let's talk about the Golden Globe winner since nobody else is. It wasn't televised.
Forgot
It was
that happened.
tweeted in a hotel room. The winners were tweeted, so I'll give you a couple of the standouts. Best motion picture drama. Brian, I don't know if you're familiar. I'm not. The Power of the Dog.
Saw it.
Any good?
I'm excited for a lot of confused old people to go like, "Oh, Western! Oh, let me watch this." It is not what you are expecting. It is an artsy Western by Jane Campion, who did the piano. Like it's not the Western you're thinking of with Clint Eastwood. It's good, but it's not. It is not going to satisfy a lot of people.
What's it on?
Netflix, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons.
Oh,
it's good, but it's not what people are expecting.
Best musical or comedy, of course, West Side Story. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture, Will Smith for King Richard. Best performance,
good.
Yeah, best performance by an actress in a drama, Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos. Watched that the other day. The Voice, she had down perfectly as Lucille Ball. Very, very impressed.
Is that a good show? A good movie?
Mediocre.
Hard to say.
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
Yeah, I watched that and Eyes of Tammy Faye on the same day, and Jessica Chastain blew my dick off.
Much better.
So I highly recommend that one. Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye Baker was incredible.
Being the Ricardos is an Aaron Sorkin movie, so you can imagine lots of dry, long scenes of dialogue, which is what it is.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fine. It's good. But J.K. Simmons as William Frawley, for me, steals the show as Fred Mertz.
Can we get back to award shows? I kind of miss them. I never thought I'd say that, but I miss what Ricky Gervais would host.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone would get drunk.
Golden Globes the party.
It was fun.
Well, and I listened to a news podcast about this because I figured we'd talk about it. And it's so many things that went wrong with the Golden Globes. The Hollywood Foreign Press is nobody knows who they are. It's less than 100 people. It's hard to figure out why and how they'll let you in. One of their biggest scandals was giving Pia Zadora back in the day the award. I think it was for Best Actress in a movie that hadn't come out, and the movie bombed. It was fucking dog shit. So they realized that guy had been bought off and gotten, hotel rooms in Vegas.
He had like a rich shipping magnate, like Greek husband who bought everything off.
Right.
Okay, I get it. You scratch beneath the surface and everything's a shit show. But I just want to turn on the TV and see some pomp and circumstance, I think we've decided culturally that it's sort of ugly to show off, red carpets, tuxedos, gowns, with all that's going on.
Champagne on every table.
I think it's a weird optic thing where literally celebration is considered a sort of, well, certainly in the era of COVID.
Yeah, getting together like that.
But even beyond that, just the general zeitgeist of the haves and the have-nots, and look at these pampered celebrities out. I think it's right up there with, again, I grew up and rich celebrities were giving you tours of their home. There's no more rich celebrity home tours because these people would be destroyed. There's people in Africa that don't have a pot to piss in, and you have 11 bathrooms.
Because someone's going to find a tweet of yours from 5 years ago saying, so-and-so, this billionaire, or, this person should have given more to... It's like, oh, what about you?
Right. Yeah. I think in general, in a weird way, the celebration part may be dead. Any Grammy stories?
Jeez.
How many Grammys did you go to?
2. Yeah.
Oh, I went to a Grammy.
I went to 2. I just kind of lost interest in it. You know what? I really have a what's the opposite of a penchant?
Aversion?
Yeah, for like kind of celebrity culture. The whole hoopla, and all this like fanfare around like the most banal things that humans do.
You had a great time?
So, yeah, I had a great time.
Where was the Grammys?
I don't even know. The one is like the Staples Center or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Maybe. But yeah, back in the day when we could do that shit.
Arena or something?
Yeah.
Crypto. It was always at Staples because I had to do Radio Row.
Oh, wait, it's not Staples anymore?
No.
It's crypto.com.
Get out of here.
I'm not lying.
Mine was at the Shrine.
Oh, yeah. That too.
Before Staples was built, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years,
or
I think
right
it's
around
always
that time, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was something to do, and I was already there. But I guess the way that it works
You're already
is
at the
that
Shrine?
you have to pay. Yeah, I was living in the dumpster in the alley, and you have to pay to go, even if you're nominated. Yeah, that's how they get you. And
really?
Yeah, it was really crazy.
Like
so I was like,
usually the label or someone will pay,
no.
for
how much was it? Yeah,
circumstances.
it would have been neat. So I just thought it would be a really funny opportunity to print my friend's phone number on my shirt and then do the red carpet.
That's fun.
And that was fun. That was my takeaway. And that was fun. It was a good time. And then I'm like, would I do this every year? Probably not.
So pay to go, like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you have to pay to get your star.
Do you too?
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
10
yeah, because it
grand.
goes to the city, like the
restoration
committee.
I guess, but I never heard of pay to go to. I didn't know that was true with
Yeah.
Grammys.
Oh.
I wonder how much it is.
It's like $6,000.
It's a lot.
Wow.
Damn.
I have a friend who's a Grammy nominee, and he produced Beats, Rhymes, and Life, the Tribe Called Quest documentary. Got nominated for a Grammy 8 years
couldn't
ago.
go.
Still gets invitations to go every year, and he goes half the time. It costs $500 a ticket or whatever, but it's like, hey, come to the Grammys. Here's
Yeah.
how much it costs.
Well, especially if you're not even. I live like near Toronto, so I got to pay for a flight down there too, and then a hotel, and then this. And
Jeez,
that.
who knew?
Yeah, it's like a big operation. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I won't even drive 3 hours north to go camping, and you want me to go like to LA and wear a suit?
Well, but you got a lot of range when it comes to the gumball rally.
Yeah.
So your dichotomy.
Well, transportation's covered.
All right, sorry, Gina.
Well, we've talked about dogs sniffing out all kinds of things, and now it has a little more legitimacy, at least if you're in the Black Keys or Metallica or Tool, because COVID sniffing dogs are a thing now, and they're being used backstage at these shows. So Live for Live Music reports that in effort to prevent the virus from postponing and canceling shows, the bands I just mentioned have recruited biodetection canines to screen performers and crew members and production staff as an extra layer of precaution. Biodetection canine president Jerry Johnson, he's an Air Force veteran who worked with dog teams while deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan in the 2000s. He told Rolling Stone that the company has 12 dogs in service. They're training more now. And he says it is done with a 98 to 99% accuracy in double-blind validation studies. And since they can test up to 200 people an hour, it's cheap. It's much cheaper than traditional testing. While the dogs have previously sniffed hands and feet, with Omicron, because it's just so contagious, as I can attest to, they sniff masks, and they can tell you right then and there.
Oh, you just pop the mask, give a sniff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been talking about this. I had my venereal sniffing dogs that could be used at parties. I had my cancer sniffing dogs. Well, come on, let's be honest.
How do they do that though? Like, so surely the dog has to know what COVID smells like, right? So do they expose the dog to?
They
like
get them addicted to COVID.
Yeah.
Well, remember
does a dog get it?
No, we were talking about dogs getting it like idiots like a year and a half ago. Remember, there's that little scare. Dogs, pets
first
getting
canine
it.
case, yeah.
God damn, are we dumb? Like, we just had to come out with everything all at once. So anyway, everything has a smell. That's, you think, well, coffee and red wine or something, but everything has a smell. Dogs can tell. And then all you have to do, and I don't even think there's a breed of dog that's better than the next. They have to be enthusiastic, and then they train them on that smell, and then they reward them when they find it. And that's how you get the gunpowder and the cocaine and the backyard fruit and the salami and all the cash sniffing dogs. You get all the different sniffing dogs.
That's it. You brought up the breed doesn't matter. It's more about the enthusiasm. I wonder if police and law enforcement tend towards German Shepherds simply for the intimidation factor. Because what if a Schnauzer is the best smelling dog? You know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody's afraid of a beagle.
Yeah, precisely. A bloodhound. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the canine units obviously have the German Shepherds because they got enforced.
They're athletic
But
and they can,
the ones
attack.
at the airport, I feel like, that are looking for stuff, they just seem to be all different breeds.
Rescues. Yeah.
Look, I feel the same way about employees, which is I don't give a fuck what your breed is. I want a dog that hunts. You know what I mean? And that's what they get. They get the enthusiastic dogs. That being said, a white lab would be preferable.
Nice, yeah.
But if we're Chihuahua,
An
I think
Alaskan
what I'm saying.
Beggars can't be choosers. Well, I don't know if you've seen this video. Today it has been around and it is crazy. Officers in California saved this pilot who crashed onto railroad tracks seconds before the train just obliterated.
Was this
the
like directed
helicopter.
by Michael Bay?
Seriously, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. People.com reports that on Sunday, the Cessna 172 made an emergency landing around 2 p.m. After it had taken off from an airport in Pacoima, for you locals out here. 2 officers from the LAPD can be seen on body camera footage pulling this, and wait for it, don't show it yet, this bloodied pilot to safety moments before the train collides with this aircraft. The pilot was the only one on board. ward and was transported to the hospital, unknown condition. The FAA and the NTSB are investigating. Now, the first 11 seconds have no audio, and then it kicks in, but very worth playing the whole 20 seconds. Here we go.
So it's an elderly guy.
Where is this story?
It's out
In
here.
LA. It's
in LA.
It's on the train tracks.
When?
Pacoima, I think it's Whiteman
Oh, wow, that guy's
Airport.
messed up.
Oh, my
shit. These guys are heroes.
LeBron tweeted that if it's a black pilot, they would have left him in there.
That sounds hard to believe.
Wow, that's what LeBron says.
That was 4.5 seconds. Well, how
Yeah.
did they say how long it was, or can you tell?
It was about 4
Yeah.
seconds. That's crazy.
Because there was no audio for 11 seconds. and
No, I
think
mean,
it was
between
about
the
4.
time they got him out and the
That's
time
what I'm saying.
My question herein lies where railway technology is at, that it didn't know.
They couldn't radio it in.
That wasn't a plane because
60 seconds earlier.
Yeah, a minute, maybe 2 minutes while that thing kind of skidded onto there. And in the middle of an intersection, it looked like too. So they probably have some kind of control.
Yeah, there's something about trains where once they get started, they don't stop until they hit a building.
There's a good movie called Unstoppable about the runaway train.
That's
It was
right.
10 years ago.
Then a movie called Runaway Train.
Yes, there
and
is.
then,
John Voight.
Silver Street. Silver Street, they end up driving the train right through the train station. Evidently, they don't stop. But yet, they have a magical cord that travels through every compartment where if you pull on it, it will stop.
It's like the oh shit handle in a car.
Yeah,
It doesn't
so
really
somebody-
serve a function.
You're right. The plane landed. The cops weren't at the intersection when they had to roll up on it. They had to get the guy out. I mean, they had to have 2 minutes at least to go to the train. Hey, man.
You'd
or a
think.
sensor or something, stop the train.
I don't know if you care, but there's a plane.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what
on the track.
that would be the message. John.
Yes. You're trying to sell us something.
I would also argue, while I love that big air horn, a crashed plane is not going to fly away. No
Right.
reason to tap the horn. You know what I mean? When there's a stalled pickup truck and they got the illegals in the bed, definitely ride that horn,
all
but don't
means.
just honk it. That's just pomp and circumstance at that point. The plane is destroyed. It's not flight worthy. There's no way it's going to move itself.
The horn's just showmanship. at
Yeah,
that
that's
point.
right. Just showing off. Mm-hmm.
Well, you mentioned LeBron, and got to tell you, there's some more auction stuff coming up. The first one I want to talk about, 2 Kobe Bryant and LeBron James game-used jerseys just hit the auction block, and they're expected to bring in over $100,000 a piece. What makes them so special? Well, the white Bryant one is ultra rare. It's a Noche Latina Lakers jersey that he wore when they played against the Bulls back in 2013. They had the Los Lakers night. So this was sort of the Latin themed night, and he signed the shirt. He signed the jersey inside the 2. LeBron's jersey doesn't have an autograph, but it makes it unique because it was a uniform he wore several times during his first season as a Laker. Both pieces now up for auction. TMZ says the Bryant jersey may go for $125. James could go for $150, and I'll keep you posted because those close next month.
Yeah, all the memorabilia is going crazy. Nobody
But wait,
wants to
there's
put
more.
money in the bank. Yeah.
Michael Caine is offloading a couple of things. He's decided to put many of his personal items and movie memorabilia up for auction. He has items that, like his Rolex.
Oscars?
Oscars?
No.
Oh, that's just for show.
Rolex, around 16 grand. Paintings from his collection. Let's see. According to UK Times newspaper, he says he's reluctantly selling off many of his beloved items as he and his wife Shakira downsize from their mansion in southeast England.
The dead mouse is making a face because I think they see the same thing.
We're thinking the
which
same
is-
thing.
Which is, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I can't think of any actor I'd be less interested in their stuff than Michael Caine.
Reluctantly.
You don't want his signature glasses?
Yeah.
Oh, reluctantly.
That looks like
Is that-
Charles Nelson Riley's glasses, number 1.
I mean, I hate to do this. but,
Where were all these collectors when Deadmau5 was selling his 458, man?
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean?
Are those from Kingsman?
Just held on to it.
Yeah. There's a thing going on. You hear about Bruce Springsteen put his catalog up. I think John Legend put his catalog up. I think there's a.
Are you talking about rights?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maersk is buying it
I think
all, apparently.
everyone's just going. I think this is a new thing because I think there's a lot of atheists in our group who just go, fuck it, I'm cashing in now. And then someone goes, what about your kids? Yeah, fuck them. I'll take the money now. Like, there's a lot of like, I just hear more and more stories of people selling catalogs and selling rights and selling memorabilia and just going, I was going to give this shit to my kids, but fuck it.
Do they know something we don't know?
I think it's the pandemic fire sale. I've seen it too in all the music community and industry and stuff like that. Of people like just basically literally putting together these 5-year plans to get their rights back from the majors or whatever they need to do to buy in or buy back their shit. And then pawn it off to like the weirdest shit, like a shipping company. Or just anyone with money.
This doesn't bode well for my theory. So I have a theory.
All right.
I don't want to ruin your day.
Great.
But I was thinking of Richard Branson and Bezos and Elon Musk. Like, why such a hurry to get off the planet?
But they came back.
I know.
So,
but eventually, just like my dad with that pack of cigarettes, they're never coming back.
Is it going to upset you that I'm thinking about doing something in 2023 that involves like kind of sort of leaving the planet?
It's going to bolster my
this thing
thought
called
here.
Worldview. And they're doing they're basically weather balloons attached to giant pods. It's worldview.com. And then you go up. They're testing now, and I think the first commercially available flights will be in like 2023. They're booking reservations and all that stuff. So
With the idea that you'd live up there for a little bit?
No.
Or
Just hang out. Just hang out.
Okay.
You know. And so me and another musician, Kaizo, were really kicking around the idea of going up there and doing the first recording in
now you're talking.
space.
Yeah.
So we go up there, we hang out. It's a big enough like kind of pod that we can bring some computer equipment and her acoustic guitar or whatever, and then we can like jam out up
Is
there.
any of this
and
shit
then
on the internet? Because I'm going to.
No, this is breaking, Adam. I'm giving you
this is
one.
breaking.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in we're talking about it.
Well,
but it's really cool idea, I think. But I have to come back as well.
So we'll come back to Earth or come back to the show?
Come back to Earth after the thing. But that's leading to your theory.
My theory is that the richest, most plugged in, connected. Believe me, these guys know what's going on in the world. They got some info out of China or Russia. I don't know what they got, but it's a race to get the fuck off the planet. Now, just like that movie with Cusack, 2012.
The Ark.
They're buying an Ark. You have to buy space on the Ark, okay? So Elon is building a space station because this whole shit show is going down, man. It's all going down in the next few years. Bruce Springsteen and all these other guys are liquidating everything to get a space on the Ark.
That's right.
What do they need all this cash for all of a sudden? You got the richest guys on the planet. They're going up, they're going down, they're experimenting. They're talking about colonizing these different planets and building space stations.
Elysium.
Yes, and the rich guys are all cashing in now to buy themselves a space on the Ark. We're all going to be left behind. And even DEADMAU5.
I hope so.
I think DEADMAU5 will be with us.
Well, you got to remember,
my
like,
theory.
if 90% of the population fights and somehow makes it off this fucking planet, I'd be part of the happy 10% that's like, chill. Yeah, you know, we don't have to deal with that shit.
I've said that so many times. I'm Team Meteor. I want to be taken out by the meteor in one shot. I don't want to have to worry about getting off the planet. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I saw Don't Look Up. Just let me have dinner and go peace.
This may be a Chinese meteor. Either way.
Oh, there it is.
They're all cashing in to buy. Even, wait, who was just selling all this stuff? Donna?
Springsteen?
No.
Okay, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. He wants off too. Sorry, well, we got this?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing. It's a
Look how futuristic those renderings are.
Floating pod.
Not bad.
Damn.
Goes up 80,000 feet or what?
It's actually just for my own satisfaction to see the curved Earth.
Good for you.
Stuff.
Parachutes down.
Prove it's actually around.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be debunked very quickly by it's the lens, it's the glass.
I got you. Yeah. It's the distortion of the air.
We're talking about elephant show.
Flat Earth.
So what do you go up to? 80,000?
I think 100.
100.
Yeah.
Wow. Sweet.
Is that actually space? I think it's still stratosphere at that point.
I don't know. At
Whatever.
100,
Higher than us.
Higher than
yeah,
most
don't
high
open
things.
the door is all I got to say. All right, Gina, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
The moral is everybody farts.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
Now listen, we were talking about your dogs that sniffed out COVID. I was called a heretic for saying dogs could sniff out cancer 20-some odd years ago. It's all my crazy theories. You wait till Elon and all those guys take off with the boss sitting on their lap and never come back.
Send apologies to Adam Carolla.
Why are we delegating all these responsibilities onto like 2 or 3 people in the world? Can we just
spread it around?
Maybe nurture new talent. I'm getting kind of tired of Daddy Elon having to save the world.
Well, it's an elitist group because they only want the guys with the big brains up there. Or the guys who can entertain them with their music.
That's true. Comedy.
All right, let me tell you about Geico. Do you rent your home? Well, you do one or the other, and you work hard. And that's why Geico's made it easy to bundle your policies. You go to geico.com and bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your automotive policy. And it's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your house. So go to geico.com, get a quote, and see just how much you could save when you get your bundle working at Geico. That is at geico.com. All right, I'm going to be, speaking of space, I'll be at the Bray Improv February 6th with William Shatner, fresh off his moonshot. Dennis Quaid.
Man.
Yeah, he's coming there as well. We'll do a couple of shows there, and go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. DEADMAU5, you can check out the website, deadmaus.com. is where you go. Stefanie Matto, FartJarsNFT.com. As if there wasn't another reason to leave the planet. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Gina Grad and Bob Bryan and DEADMAU5 and Stefanie Matto saying mahala.
And the HBO special I did that aired, I guess, 2 years ago, I did about 20 minutes of it. None of it memorable.
No, I must have been drunk because I saw that HBO special like 5 times, although I probably saw the same 18 minutes
That's
5
what I
times.
do. That's all I ever do when I watch my friends and stuff. And then the last 15 or 20 was guitar. And I sang a song that I sang today, which is called My Dog Licked My Balls, which is not a true story, but it seemed humorous.